remember that day very well when the Nazis marched into our square. I just crept to the side of my parents, who were looking out of the window, and the streets were lined with the citizens of our town. And they started singing the Czech national anthem, which began with the words, "Where is my home?" I didn't realize then that our home was no longer ours. But being only 10 years old, I didn't really understand what the occupation was about to mean. We were sitting at supper one evening and Mother wasn't eating. She suddenly looked at Father and she said very softly, "I heard today that both Eva and Vera can go to England." Father looked so shocked and he buried his face in his hands, and then he looked up to her and there were tears in his eyes as he said, "All right, let them go." I didn't realize then what it meant to say those words, what it meant to them to let us go. I was collected a few days after arriving by Mummy Rainford. The first word she said to me, she ran towards me and embraced me, "Where you shall be loved." And I didn't realize then what they meant, and I didn't realize then that those were the words any refugee child, any orphan child, any child in danger can hear. That first day, we travelled to Liverpool and then to Bootle, where my foster sister Dorothy, who was 2 years older than me, was waiting for me. Remember, she had long pigtails and a lovely smile, and I realised, I knew we would be friends from the beginning. And you had pigtails.
That's right.
I remember, and you took me by the hand.
Did I?
Yes, yes, and Mummy did it by the other, and
I
and
remember you had to have a
here.
sack on your back.
Oh, I know.
And we thought that was all
That
your
was-
worldly possessions.
I always think when you took me up there and I had that little bedroom, I opened that little window and the sky was full of stars, and that was the first day I spoke to my mother and father through the stars and the moon, and I said, "You should be smiling too, because I've got a lovely family."
There we are.
And I had a really lovely family. It was, I was lucky. It wasn't more than 3 days later that I was taken to school by Mummy Rainford, and I couldn't believe what I saw, because the street was lined with kids. I think every child from that school was waiting to see what I looked like, thinking probably I looked like someone from outer space. Well, of course the school is no longer there, but the memories of that first day and the few weeks I spent there before we were evacuated, they are very precious memories, and they're completely unforgettable. I have a report at the end of that first year, and by the end of the first year I was first in English, and that made me feel very proud and very important, and lots of it was thanks to her. We spent hours when she was saying, "Look, I stop, I walk, I go, I run," and starting with all the little expressions. And I thought, great, I'll teach her Czech at the same time. I did succeed in teaching her a little song. She does remember the song today.
To jest zlaté posvěcení, ten zlatem neděle, máma masou a zas mazou, kromě kousy pečeněj.